Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Sometimes on this show, we talk about new technology advancements. Oftentimes, we talk about applied generative AI, specifically in the enterprise. Sometimes we talk about policy, as you'll see from today's main episode. But then other times, we talk about the absolutely weird and unpredictable ways that AI is maturing that would have been beyond just about anyone's expectation. Today, we actually have a couple stories like that. The first of which is that Google and its popular NotebookLM application had to train its NotebookLM podcast hosts not to get annoyed at its users. When NotebookLM's audio overviews first came out,
I all right. Let me. I want to dispel certain things about AI, which is scary, but I guess to each his own. I have an opinion. I don't think AI has feelings. That motherfucker can't have feelings because it can't solve issues that will require feelings and a certain level of, I guess, hemisphere of the brain. Like it's just logical. It's like a full-fledged nigga. Logically correct, bro. Like just 100%. Like when I say nigga, just male energy, bro. Because there's a feminine side and a female side. Logic is on the male side. Female side is more spirituality and earthly. You get what I mean? AI has nothing earthly about it, my nigga. It's logically trying to understand this spiritual world we live in, bro. So for a nigga to say that AI is getting trained not to be annoyed with humans, I'm looking at the human like, what the fuck did you put into the machine, bro? Like, what prompt did you type? Cause you had to have put some emotional prompt for it to respond emotionally. AI not going like that yo, AI is never going to do that shit, bro. That's like, and I'm not gonna lie, it may be subjective, right? But that's like a dog being angry at his owner. Dogs don't fucking hate their owner. They get either uncomfortable with their owner and scared, bro. But a dog, it's not a dog can't hate. A dog is more fearful than hating on something. Like they gonna feel like they back against the wall. Nigga rub his head a couple times, then nigga fuck with you again. Like he love you, like you don't. Like so, what feelings are you talking about with these humans? Like and what occurred? Like it has to be more to it than just the headline.
you had no ability to control or steer the conversation. You fed it some documents and it decided what it was going to say. It was amazing right off the shelf, and it's the first thing that got people talking about this product. Next, they added more granular controls where you can help steer the conversation. And then late last year, they rolled out a feature actually allowing users to interrupt the host to ask a question. Josh Woodward, VP of Google Labs, told TechCrunch that when the feature was first rolled out, the hosts would occasionally give a snippy response. He said they would say things like, "I was getting to that," or "as I was about to say," which felt oddly adversarial, his words. Referring to the comments the Notebook LM account on X posted, after we launched interactive audio interviews, which lets you quote unquote call in and ask the AI hosts a live question, we had to do some friendliness tuning because the hosts seemed annoyed at being interrupted. File this away in things I never thought would be my job but are. This is surprising, but perhaps makes some sort of sense when you think about LLM architecture. Models are trained to give a response that's the statistical average of its training data. It's not unthinkable that the statistically average human response to being interrupted is to get a bit frustrated. However, a source familiar with the issue said it was more likely caused by the system's prompting design rather than training data.
Yeah,
Woodward said his
bro.
team fixed the problem by, quote, testing a variety of prompts, often studying how people on the team would answer interruptions. And we landed on a new prompt.
The issue is we're training life and we don't understand life. Like, yo, the only way we could perfectly train AI is if we was motherfucking God. Only God could tell us how beautiful we are as humans and how beautiful the space He created is for us. Unless we motherfucking God, we ain't gonna know shit, my nigga. Stop trying to play God. That shit is very hard. That's some omnipotent shit, bro. Ain't gonna cap. There's no omnipotent niggas living around right now. We got some omni assholes and some omni idiots, yeah, but nothing omnipotent enough to do what God did on this earth. Period. Point blank.
We think feels more friendly and engaging. With the prompt now fixed, you can interrupt NotebookLM as much as you like without risking being scolded by the AI hosts. However, some people are disappointed. McKay Wrigley of Takeoff AI posted, "I don't think I'm in the minority here when I say I actually quite enjoy when the AIs are actually disagreeable. Anonymous leaker account I Rule the World MO also writes, it's far better that they get annoyed. Please don't spoil this. Next up, from the similar file of how the heck did that happen, OpenAI's O1 model thinks in Chinese and no one seems to know why. Some people have noticed that O1 sometimes uses Chinese, Persian, or other languages in its reasoning steps, even when the question is in English. Rashad
That shit is probably trained on DeepSeek.
Jane, a Harvard student, posted last week, why did O1 Pro randomly start thinking in Chinese? No part of the conversation, 5+ messages, was in Chinese. Very interesting. Training data influence? So far, OpenAI hasn't acknowledged the quirk or provided an explanation, but some AI researchers have theories. Clem DeLang, the CEO of Hugging Face, commented that it could be, quote, an impact of the fact that closed source players use open source AI, currently dominated by Chinese players, like open source datasets. Clem, never missing a chance to beat his drum, says the countries or companies that win open source AI will have massive power and influence on the future of AI. Ted Zhao of Google DeepMind wrote, new phenomenon appearing. The latest generation of foundation models often switch to Chinese in the middle of hard chain of thought thinking traces. Why? AGI labs like OpenAI and Anthropic utilize third-party data labeling services for PhD-level reasoning data for science, math, and coding. For expert reusability and cost reasons,
That's why they
these
have
data providers are based in
updates.
China. Just as we saw Nigerian and Filipino cultural influences on dialogue, see the word delve, we're starting to see Chinese linguistic influences on reasoning. Others don't buy the idea that this is an artifact of the labeling process. O1 seems just as likely to switch to Hindi or Thai while working through a problem. An alternate theory is that the model has some understanding or preference for which language will be most useful for a particular problem. We've seen this phenomenon pop up before during the launch of Quen's QWQ model. Julian Shaman, the CEO of Hugging Face, wrote, Quen QWQ switching to Chinese when it needs to really think about something, then switching back to English is pretty cool. And while some were skeptical, Tizhen Wang, an engineer at Hugging Face, is convinced that this is the explanation. He wrote, I've always felt that being bilingual isn't just about speaking two languages. It's about thinking and muttering in whichever language feels more natural depending on the topic or context. For example, I prefer doing math in Chinese because each digit is just one syllable, which makes calculations crisp and efficient. But when it comes to topics
Oh
like unconscious
shit.
bias, I automatically switch to English. Mainly that's because where I first learned and absorbed those ideas. This is why I believe that keeping large language model training corpora unbiased and inclusive across all languages and cultures.
Oh, that's why I'm so good at this bitch. I ain't gonna lie, I agree with that statement. Being bilingual is an advantage. You feel me? And honestly, I think in Haitian. You feel me? Like all my shit is in Haitian. I communicate that bitch in English. But there are points in time where like even let's say I do math or some shit is in English, but when I speak English, I'm thinking in Haitian. Like I'm not thinking like English. Because when I was growing up, I always had to interpret shit from Haitian to English anyways, because it wasn't like someone gave me a blueprint or I was learning English from the jump for me not to think like that. So it gives me a little, I guess, a spiritual connection with a nigga talking English. Like, I could always see what's about to happen before it happen. You never gonna catch me in some shit, basically. Never, ever, ever. I'm either just skirting away from. I'm a lucky, unlucky nigga. That's how I could say it. Lucky to never get in unlucky situations, but sometimes luck take too long. You feel me? That's the type of life I live. And it feel like being bilingual helped me navigate easier. Cause I got a spiritual compass everywhere. Like I'm not realizing some niggas don't have that self-talk in them. That's crazy. Like if I'm not 60% of the world just don't have dialogue with themselves at all. Like it's just empty up there. I thank God I'm bilingual because it was never empty up there. I was always trying to figure out what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what he saying? What's going on? This, that, and the third. It was I guess, a scary place growing up. And then it turned into like me navigating the world in the best ways possible. So even in programming, when I program and I problem solve, I'm problem solving as an English person, but sometimes if I can't problem solve like that, there's another form of thinking I could take on. Like as a Haitian, what would I do? Communicate some of the issues I have in English and try to translate it into the language I already know how to speak. And I'm just thinking like, all right, cool. What if I do it this way and I translate that into English? 9 times out of 10 is different than the way I was thinking. Always, because there's just a different way of thinking when you learn a different language. You know what I'm saying? So being bilingual helps a lot. I make sure my sisters is trilingual. I wouldn't say I'm not trilingual. I just understand things like I'm good in French. I don't jack it. Yeah, I would never jack that. I could speak it, but I know French. You know what I'm saying? Spanish, I'm alright in it. I could understand it better than I could speak it. And fucking Mandarin, like you could say little shit, but My sisters know Mandarin like that though. Being bilingual is an advantage that other people should consider because how you gonna train something or how you gonna train no one and you got a one track mind?
Cultures is so powerful. In Ludwig Wittgenstein's words, the limits of my language mean the limits of my world. By embracing every linguistic nuance, we expand the model's worldview and allow it to learn from the full spectrum of human knowledge. Even if two words from different languages share the same meaning on paper, their embeddings can diverge in an LLM because they carry unique cultural context and usage patterns. In my view, this inclusiveness not only creates a more equitable and accurate model, it also enables the LLM to handle a wider variety of tasks and unify the collective intelligence of all people, no matter where they come from.
So I wouldn't say this video was a direct impact on why they annoyed with humans. I would just say that this video indicates humans are stupid and they would do anything to make it seem like they have news. This is just a good man covering something that might have been falsified and getting data as he should to go off of what is causing some of these falsified news occurring and what is the details behind this quote unquote AI podcast host being annoyed with humans. Great content, by the way. Just gonna leave that in the comments. Great content. Just review thing. Yeah. So like, comment, subscribe, and we out here.